Hey guys, Caitlin here. So today what I want to show you is how I use my Erin Condren Teacher Planner for homeschool planning, specifically homeschooling with classical conversations. There are a lot of videos out there about how to use the teacher planner for teachers, but not a whole lot about how people use it for homeschooling, so I thought I'd share. Now, before I get started, I want to give a huge disclaimer. I would not use this for homeschooling a kindergartner. I would not pay the money to use this for homeschooling a kindergartner. It is way, 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 way more than you actually need. I am an Erin Condren affiliate, and so when people click through my link and purchase, I get Erin Condren credit. So I use that every year to buy my yearly planner for my personal stuff, other Erin Condren stuff. Because of that, I was able to get this for free. Like, I had enough credit on my account that I was able to order the planner for free. So this did not cost me anything, and that's why I used it. If I'd had to pay $50 or whatever it was for a planner, or if I had to pay for a planner period, I would have not picked this one, strictly because it's just overkill for a kindergartner. Now, as my kids get older and I have more kids who are homeschooling, I can see myself utilizing this a lot more, and it'll be worth it for me. But for right now, it's just a lot. So if you're watching this and you're homeschooling just one child or young children, do not feel like you need to go out and purchase this expensive, humongous planner to do your lesson plans. It is not necessary, not at all. So save your money and use that for books or something, and just do a simple checklist, okay? So I just wanted to get that out of the way so that you realize that the reason I'm using this planner is not because I feel like I need this planner, but because I was able to get it for free with the credits that I already had, and so that's why I'm using it. Okay, so anyway, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna show you how I use the planner to keep up with our the days that we've done school, so our attendance, and how I use it to keep records of what we have done. I have a kindergartner, he's 6 years old. This is our first year homeschooling. We do classical conversations as well as our other curriculum that we do alongside it. But classical conversations is kind of like the framework that we use. So anyway, I'm gonna show you how we use it, or how I use it, and what I do with it, and I'll flip it around and show you. And hopefully that will be helpful to you as you're figuring out what you want to use for a planner, okay? Okay, so let's look at the inside of this. Front cover, I just put my information. On this page, I didn't use a whole lot of it. I put my information, email, phone, and address, which I've covered up. A little bit about the curriculums that we were using and how many lessons they had, just to help me plan, as well as our requirements for Kentucky, so that I can make sure I was getting in the correct number of days. I haven't used the rest of this. I did not use this communication log. I did use this page a little bit just to plan out the, yeah, you can't have that, our days that we had CC. So I use these little transparent dots that you can buy from Erin Condren, and I just went through, and you can see I have my teal days are community days, and the yellow days are days that we were on break for, like Christmas break or spring break or whatever. I marked our first day of school. This was like this green, blue one was like an orientation day. So I didn't use this a ton. I really just used it at the beginning of the year to see an overview of what our year was going to look like. This page I did not do anything to. If you've watched my video where I did like a review of the whole planner, you'll remember that these, where I have these little gold stickers, it actually was like January, February, March, April. It went in calendar year, and I wanted it to go school year, so I bought these stickers, switched it from July to June, and then didn't use it at all. I mean, this has tons of potential if you're doing like monthly themes or to write field trips or whatever, but it's just so simple in kindergarten that we just did not have a whole lot of extra fluff to need this. So you could use it for whatever. It has a lot of cool things you could do with it. I just have not needed that this year. Graph paper we didn't use. I did have a page here where I shared, or not shared, but this was at the beginning of the year. Yes, I was writing down what curriculum I needed to purchase, and kind of like a budget. So you can see I was just writing down, okay, I need my curriculum guide, that's $99. The history cards are $92, that kind of stuff. So I was kind of just keeping up with what I needed to purchase. Okay, then the bulk of it let me go to a blank one, is your month calendar and then your week calendar. This is May, so I haven't written anything other than putting in the holidays, so that it comes with little stickers that you can fill those in. So put in the holidays, and then that's what the week view looks like, and we'll come back to that in a second. I want to show you, basically there's only one other thing I used in the planner, and that is here in the back. There's this section called checklists, which again, this is a teacher planner, so this, don't pull that out, sis. This is assuming you're going to be taking grades. Well, we don't take grades really. Here, do you want this to play with? Okay, but I use it for our attendance. So this is what I did. So down the side, I wrote 1 through 31, so that's the days of the month. And across the top, August, September, October, November. So I just did the months of the year. And then every day that we do school, I put a check mark in the box. So it's really easy for me to keep up with what we've done, like which days we've done. At the bottom, I keep a total of each month. So in August, we did 5 days, in September 18, in October 23, and so on. And then at the very bottom, I keep a running total. So each month I add it to our running total. So 5 days, 23 days, 46. So we finished March at 140 days. So we'll probably finish by the end of May. We're pretty flexible. So if we go into June, that's fine. That's why I have June and July there. But this is what I use as my main thing to keep me, to help me figure out how much school we've done and how much we have left to do. Okay, so now let me show you how I plan for, hold those, here you go, how I plan. All right, let's see here. Got different stickies for different things. Okay, so here's what the monthly plan kind of looks like. Okay, so originally we were having CC on Thursdays, and we are currently in the middle of the coronavirus, and so in March we had to start canceling our community days, and then we shifted to doing them online on Tuesdays. So that's why we have canceled right here. That was what I had planned out at the very beginning of the year. I'd gone through with my stickers, put those in. So then a couple weeks ago when we switched, I went through and added those here. So, I mean, I really just write our community days on here, field trips, that kind of stuff. I don't use it for a whole lot of other things. But it just helps me to see the month overview. I do also, I know I showed you that I take attendance, or whatever you want to call it, keep up with our days. In that checklist, I also put a circle on the days on the calendar that we do. I don't know why I do both. I just like to do both. So I do. This is what like an older month looks like. Okay, so here is a completed month. Like, this is an old month, just to show you what it looks like. You can see my circles where the days that we did school. I mean, sometimes we do school on a Saturday, like, that's the beauty of homeschooling, it's flexible. But I mark our CC community days. I mark if we have like specific information I need to remember about that, like parent and grandparent day or harvest fest break. We had a field trip. We had a mom's night out. So just, and then occasionally I'll do things like birthdays, or if my husband's off work, just to help me with planning. Okay, so then the bulk of the planning is done inside the planner. And this part right here, the weekly view, this is what it looks like completely blank. This is the week that we're currently on that I've started. So across the top, I put our subjects: Bible, math, language arts, CC. I have an other category where I just put overflow stuff that doesn't really fit in those other categories. And then I have a review category, which is stuff that I've been teaching the kids that I like to go back and review. Pretty self-explanatory. Okay, so I write right here if we were doing a field trip or anything, which obviously we're not because we're social distancing, but I would put that here. So right now I just have our community day. I always put that and what week we're on. If I have any notes, right now we're doing them online. And then on the community day line under CC, because since this is the day that we learn all of our new stuff, I don't usually put, we don't usually have like projects that we're working on or whatever. This is where I put their presentation for the week. You can also do it down on the side, but I always put it on the day of, and I just will fill in whatever his presentation is going to be. Okay, So I've got these little stickers. This was a file from CC Connected that had all of the weekly memory work in these really small little skinny columns, and I printed them onto sticker paper and turned them into stickers so that each week I can peel that off and stick that up here on the side. And well, that's not very straight, but anyway, that way I can just quickly reference what is our memory work for that week. And so I just peel that off, stick it on there, and we're good to go. Just go through, and I usually at the beginning of the week I fill in the stuff that I know that we're planning to do, and then there's other things that I fill in as we go. So for Bible, I just go through and I write our Bible story, memory verse, and song. I don't go into any more specifics than that. Just know that we're going to read the next Bible story in our book. I know we're going to work in our memory work. We have a memory work box that we use, kind of a Charlotte Mason thing. I know we'll be practicing that, and we will sing a song of some sort, just a church song. I don't usually have that planned out. So I'll go through and I'll write that down this column. I'll go through and I'll write the review things that we want to do, and I'll show you that in a second. The math and the language arts, I usually don't write those ahead of time, and then I just fill them in as we go. We use Right Start Math and Logic of English. They're very much open and go curriculum, so I don't really have to do a lot of planning ahead of time, but I also don't want to go through and write a bunch of stuff down and then a lesson takes longer than normal or whatever, and so we have to break it up into 2 days or end up skipping a day. So I just kind of write it as we go, and that works for me. So let me show you so this is kind of like the beginnings of my planning. I'll go through and I'll fill the rest of it in. Okay, so these are just different things that we have already learned, and I like to just go through and review a couple of them each day. So the Fruit of the Spirit song, the Days of Creation song, the Gospel song, the Judges song, that kind of stuff. So that's what we do here. Just kind of check it off real quick after we do our Bible stuff in the morning. These will also have memory work written on them. And as you can see, like I said in my beginning of this video, this is so not necessary for kindergarten. It would be really easy to just like have a little checklist on a piece of paper. It's just not necessary. But because I have the planner, I use it anyway. And if I had multiple kids, then it would be nice to have this to write each of their math for the day and each of their language arts for the day. But since I just have one, it's really simple. So anyway, then let's see. We are on lesson 98 in math. And I'm not sure if we're on lesson 55 or 54 in language arts, so I'll fill that in later. So then this is it. I don't fill this in until like as we're doing it. Same with this other column. This is kind of like as we do other things, I just fill them in so I have a record of it. I'll show you what a completed week looks like. So here's one from March. I also go through and I highlight stuff as we do it. That's kind of like my version of checking it off. And if I have something planned and then I don't highlight it, that means we didn't do it. But you can see I've got our Bible stories. Now, back when we were doing Community Day in person, that was the only thing we did. I did not do anything else with them. So that's why all this is blank. That's a very full day for a kindergartner. He's exhausted when we get home. So I just have his presentation for that week, which was a Lego wish list thing he made, and that was it. But you can see there's our Bible story, memory verse, and song. In math, I wrote which lesson we did. And in language arts, same thing. Memory work and map tracing. We read Magic Treehouse books. We were finishing a painting. Like on this day, we wrote a bunch of thank you notes for their birthdays. And so that was what I kind of counted instead of doing language arts that day. Then the review, as I showed you earlier, kind of what that looks like. So this is what a completed week, and then there's that sticker that I was showing you. So this is what a completed week looks like with all the stuff that we did and kind of how I track that. And so like I said, I don't do a ton of pre-planning other than our normal stuff that we do every single week. The rest of it, I just fill it in as we go. And yeah, so that's kind of what I do for one child in kindergarten that's homeschooled and doing classical conversations. So hope it helps.